So I just saw the Mario Galaxy movie, and oh boy, I actually don't really have that much to say. Now I'm a huge fan of Mario. I've played all the games, I love all the games, I love the characters, I love the music, the visuals. I've spent so much of my life just with this goofy red Wahoo man. And I still love the franchise to this very day. So when the first Mario movie was given a trailer and release date, I was understandably pretty excited back then. Yeah, there were things I disagreed with, such as getting Illumination to make it, like one of the worst companies to ever make movies. Casting Chris Pratt was a little weird. I don't know why they did that. I disagreed with a lot of things, basically. But hey, I still thought it would be at least a fun time at the theater that I would like. So I ended up watching the film when it came out, and it was probably the most bland and inoffensive thing that they could have ever possibly made. Like, yep, it was a movie, it was extremely fast-paced, there was a lot of references, and again, it was just the most bland and inoffensive thing that they ever could have possibly made with it. Like, it worked, but that's pretty much all it was. It functioned. So here we are, 3 years later, and the sequel is out, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are two of my all-time favorite games, especially the second one. It is literally the best game ever made, like, don't have. But I'm not gonna lie, I was already pretty negative on this movie before it came out. Most of the trailers made the movie feel like it was gonna be extremely rushed, disjointed, and doubling down on pretty much everything I disliked about the first movie, like the constant references, the fast pace, the lack of focus, and, most importantly, the lack of an actual plot. And yep, the film is out, and that's exactly what it is. It's the most rushed, disjointed, bland, and again, inoffensive thing that they could have ever possibly made with this property and this game. Yeah, it looks great, it sounds great, and on the surface, it's a fine compilation of Mario references and all that, but it's all just in service of nothing. So vapid, and for a film that is trying so hard, so fucking hard to keep your attention, it also manages to be weirdly boring to me. Also, by the way, I will be spoiling the shit out of this movie, so, I mean, there's basically nothing to spoil because they showed everything off in the trailers, but if you care about that, then probably skip to like 10 minutes in this video or something. So basically this movie is about Rosalina getting kidnapped from the start of the movie, and then Peach is like, oh shit, we gotta go save her because she's important for some reason. Like, they figured this out in one scene when Illuma just comes down and says, oh, my mama's in danger, I need help. And then Peach is like, okay, we just gotta go to the Super Mario Galaxy to do it. So she and Toad go and do that, while Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi now, remember, he's in the movie because he was in the post-credits in the last one, have to help the Mushroom Kingdom stay safe, and that's basically it for the first, like, 30 minutes until it becomes just a bunch of bullshit. So then the Mario Bros fight Junior, and then they fight in the Galaxy UFO, and then they get dropped onto another planet that looks the exact same as the Mushroom Kingdom, but it's actually the Honey Hive Galaxy, so, like, why didn't you make it look more Then for the rest of the movie, they just kind of fuck around while shoving a million references in your face to distract you from the fact that this movie does not really have a structure or a story or anything that makes a movie. I mean, Fox showed up for one scene and he was fine. I think Glenn Powell did a good job voicing him. Like, there was a pretty cool 2D animated sequence for his introduction that I really appreciated. Like, he was okay, he felt pretty tacked on. Why are you in this movie, man? Like this, what the hell is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas? So yeah, this movie does not even give you 1 second to breathe. There's like no sequences to stop and let you take in an atmosphere. There's no character growth. There's very, very little actual interactions or dialogue. Everything that happens is in service of getting the audience to the next set piece so they can pop off the screen and fucking seal clap. Also, Wart was in the movie. What does he do? I don't know. He's there so Luis Guzman can get a paycheck, and for people on Twitter to become attracted to him for some reason funny or says anything interesting, he gets like 5 lines of dialogue. Then they set him up to appear later, and then I was like, oh, okay, so he's gonna be in the final battle, right? But then he never showed up again, and then I realized that I was debated into watching this movie from Miyamoto because he didn't want me to actually watch a movie, but a series of YouTube shorts mashed together. He loves those. That's the thing with this movie, like, you might find yourself enjoying a scene for a bit, but then the scene immediately ends and you're thrust into the next action scene because you need to see more stuff. Like, have you been pointing enough? You haven't been pointing enough, clearly. Like, we have to show you the cool stuff. Now, the first movie also does this, but the thing is that there was at least some semblance of a structure there. Flat and basic as it was, the first movie had ways and occasional moments where the characters just got to talk to each other and do something. They were brief, but like they existed. The intro of the first movie is like 15 minutes long, and it's just kind of a normal Illumination movie. But this one is like immediately moving at Mach 5 after the first 30 minutes, and when Bowser Jr. first shows up to like attack Mario and Luigi, and then it's just like, oh, okay, I mean, it's just extremely exhausting. I was like actually so tired at the end of this movie. And the crazy thing is, the movie is only 95 minutes long, and yet I felt like it was 2 hours because so much stuff was happening in service of nothing that I got so fucking bored. I also felt like they shot themselves in the foot with casting Chris Pratt as Mario, because like he was fine in the first one, but he's like actually awful in this movie. Once again, he's constantly changing between the accent he's doing and his normal ass voice, and then every single time he has to scream, he goes like the most low energy shit I've ever seen. It sounded like fucking Xenoblade 2 with Rex's annoying screaming and fake emotion he put into every line. Pretty much every other voice actor is just phoning it in this movie. Like, Jack Black is good, but like everyone else is bad, and it's kind of annoying. Honestly, Benny Safdie was shockingly good and surprising as Bowser Jr. Like, I thought he was pretty cute. I thought the moments he had with Jack Black were nice. There was a flashback where Bowser put on a puppet show for Jr., and it was pretty amusing, and it was nice. And I wish the movie just gave a shit about doing more of those scenes and putting effort into the script. But obviously, those movies are not made for that. They're made to make it gawk. Brie Larson had a lot of pre-release footage where she was talking about how excited she was, and I was honestly also really excited for her to be in it. I like her a lot as an actress, but then you watch the movie and she has like 10 lines of dialogue, and like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? I'm just confused. There is so little galaxy in this Galaxy movie. Most of the locations and music are lifted from Odyssey. A lot of the like planets are like very boring, and they don't really do anything. Like, they go to Honey Hive Kingdom. They see the queen bee from the game. She's there for like 40 seconds and made me feel some things. But I really feel like I'm rambling, but this is just the actual script. There's so little to talk about in this movie for me. Like, there's actually zero substance here. And when a film has literally nothing for me to latch onto, I lose interest and I stop caring, because why am I supposed to care? Why should I even watch the movie aside from the fact that I love Mario and I want to buy Mario games and a Switch? Like, I'm just confused because Mario Galaxy is a game you could genuinely make such an intriguing and great film out of. Like, it doesn't have to be Shakespeare or fucking Citizen Kane or The Godfather. I'm not asking for The Godfather, okay? Shut the fuck up on Twitter about The Godfather.
It insists upon itself.
Just one scene of Mario flying around to Gusty Garden Galaxy without Chris Pratt saying, "Oh, we gotta save Charlie Kirk, Lou. We gotta go to carry the flag." Just one quiet moment. The quiet sadness of Super Mario Galaxy. Like, they attempt arcs with the characters. Bowser becomes good for a little bit, but as soon as he became good, I was like, oh, so he's gonna go talk to Junior, and Junior's gonna be like, "Oh, Dad, we gotta be evil." And then Bowser's gonna be like, "You know what, son, I agree." And then that's what happened in the movie. There was no emotional connection. Also, Peach and Rosalina are sisters now for some reason, and this is the emotional core of the movie. They exchange like 2 lines with each other, and they show the same scene of her getting separated like twice, and I felt nothing. Why? What is the point of changing the lore like this? So yeah, this movie was basically nothing to me. There was a review I read prior to it coming out citing that it felt like it was for YouTube Shorts viewers, and after actually seeing the film, there's no better way I could possibly describe this movie. It is a series of YouTube shorts. I'm honestly just so tired of these modern animated films moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, specifically because the directors and writers are so scared of losing the attention of the kids in the audience, so they don't go on their phone and start scrolling TikTok mid-movie. What is someone not into Mario supposed to get out of this movie? Do not tell me this is for the fans. The movie is going to make $2 billion, and just because it's a movie for the fans does not mean that it's an excuse for the filmmakers to just not try and start fucking jerking off while they're making the movie. You know, that's probably how Wart happened, I'm not gonna lie. This is really just FNAF 2 all over again, except FNAF 2 was actually funny. I'm not really disappointed, to be honest. I kind of just thought that the movie was going to be like this, but it's a damn shame that I have seen so many great, excellent movies the past 2 years that my tolerance for bland, inoffensive TikTok mush like this is just at an all-time low. It's like below the fucking core of the earth. I'm like genuinely happy some people are going to enjoy it. Not happy about the discourse that's going to emerge because of how polarizing this movie ends up being. Like, it's already so fucking bad. This discourse is so fucking bad, man. I'm gonna drop a light 3 out of 10 on this, and I have no reason to see it or think about it ever again. If you like it, good for you. If you hate it, good for you as well. And I would say the typical YouTuber outro, see you guys later, have a nice day and all that. But there was one thing I was really curious about with this movie. Was the best character in the entire Mario franchise in the movie, and was she in the post-credits scene? Alright, I'm just saying that the entirety of whether I watch the next movie or not is entirely dependent on who voices Daisy. If Awkwafina voices her, I will not be seeing it, but if she isn't voiced by Awkwafina, then I will be there. Anyway, see you guys in like 3 years for when the Super Mario Land movie comes out and Daisy gets 2 minutes of screen time. That'll be